Good morning, everyone. I'm Eric Evans from Small Garage Studios, and today we are making two side table lamps. We're going to use these leftover pieces of birch and this IKEA lighting hardware. So let's get to it. Here's the final result. I'm really happy with how these turned out, and I'm excited to show you the process for how I brought them together. So we're going to start by making an MDF template of the shape we want. When it comes to drawing curves, I like to use something that's curved. So here I've got I think will be a great size, a gallon paint drum, and we'll get started tracing that. Okay, so now that I've got the vertical parts cut to the ballpark of their finished size, I'm gonna come through, cut with the jigsaw to close to that line, at which point I'll take the template and apply it to the workpiece and then use my router to finish off the shape. Now I'm going to use the table saw to cut dados on the bases. Those dados will accept the vertical pieces and hold everything in place. Now I don't have a dado blade, so I'm going to have to go pass by pass with a standard blade. Okay, so now I've got the bases and the vertical pieces pretty much done for the lamps, and I don't really know how I'm going to do the electrical yet. And so I've got the IKEA hardware, and basically I'm going to figure it out. So my rough idea is I've got a plug and socket combo, and then a bulb that is an ornamental bulb, so I figure this will be exposed. But I need to know how to mount the socket. And so I want to take a few measurements and see if it comes through the back of the lamp, through that back vertical piece, what kind of hole would I need to cut in and what sort of mounting. And so I'll get the calipers here, zero them out, and I've got the threads for the socket, the exterior threads, and I'm thinking if I drill a hole just big enough for these threads, I can glue it in place. All right, so this is annoyingly 40 millimeters. And let me grab the Forstner bits. and see what the closest bit would be. So 1.5 too small. And yes, I could do the math, but 1 5/8 is 41 millimeters. So I think I'll give that a try and see how it goes. So I'll do a test piece, and from there, that'll help me decide what I'll actually use for the final version. Let's get to it. And so here I have the prototype, and it's working. This is not the most elegant solution, but I think it'll be fine for these purposes. In an ideal world, I would do something to get the electronics more integrated and much more elegant than having the black plastic sticking out. So you can see this is what it'll look like on the back, and that's on the front. What I ended up doing was cutting a hole straight through it at 1 5/8 inches, and that basically gave the clearance for this part. And then into that, I cut a larger hole on the back to accept the wider part of this exterior socket piece. That lets me get enough threads through to catch with the front receptacle. And I think this is what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to add a bevel to the sides. I think it'll add a really nice touch and sort of take off those tough corners. So I just pulled these out of clamps and they're looking great. Now I'm going to do final sanding and then apply a coat of finish. And that's it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any feedback or questions, please let me know in the comments below. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at Small Garage Studios to keep up with our projects.